Channel 4 News, everybody laughing all at once at me, and also that being okay, because people are conditioned to thinking that you're the biggest bitch, you're a monster, you are disgusting, even if it's about children's names. Oh, I hate her, she said that stuff about kids' names, she's a right cow. That's, oh, she lost her house, serves her right. And you have to accept that when you're hated and bad things happen to you, or you cause them to happen, people will enjoy that humiliation. So I think what we probably have, and what I got down, was an ability to be hated and just to keep remembering who I knew I was and am. Yeah, it's that, it's knowing who you are, because otherwise you won't make it. No chance.
And how, you know, I've always, these are questions I've always probably wanted to ask you, yeah? Because I know how difficult I've found it at times. So then I see you, and I see you stone-faced a lot of the time, like you don't care.
A major controversy is unfolding, placing three prominent figures at its core: Elon Musk, Tommy Robinson, and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. This is not just a political issue, it is a battle over the influence of free speech and the consequences of challenging those in power.
Yeah, so that morning I'd gone into court to try and get the full details of their reporting restriction. There's so many guidelines that they have to have. For example, on the screen, where the defendants' names are listed, it has to say there of the reporting restriction. It didn't. I have a photograph of that screen. It did not. There was nothing on the door. So I then stood outside, and obviously I presumed that the reporting restriction can only be for the verdicts, and for the specific detail from in that trial. It can't possibly be for any information that's already online and out there.
So the trial had finished.
Trial had finished.
You were stood outside.
Yes.
You repeated information that was already in the public domain, the names.
Yes.
Did you film any of the men going in?
The defendants who were walking into court, yes, I filmed them. I made sure not to film anyone but them. So there was Muslim women walking into court. I turned the camera away from them. I was fully aware that you couldn't record jurors, witnesses, or anything like that. But
Tommy Robinson, a highly polarising figure, is currently in solitary confinement under questionable circumstances. He argues that his detention is not coincidental. He possesses information that the government allegedly wants to keep hidden. According to him, Keir Starmer is playing a role in ensuring this information does not come to light by locking him up.
Elicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying.
Well, I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content, and I'm asking for specific examples.
However, the situation does not end there. Elon Musk, the billionaire behind Tesla, SpaceX, and X, formerly Twitter, has actively joined the debate. He is voicing concerns over what he sees as an attack on free expression. Musk claims Robinson is not being punished for breaking any laws, but for revealing uncomfortable truths, and he is unafraid to highlight this issue despite potential criticism.
Slowly rearing its head in the UK. I think the number of people that have been arrested for just social media posts is bananas. It's in the thousands.
Several thousand people have been given prison sentences in the UK with social media posts where there was no explicit link to actual violence, but they just said it encouraged violence. I'm like, well, did anyone actually do anything as a result of that media post? Well, no. And then they have a prison overcrowding situation in the UK, so they're quite literally releasing convicted pedophiles and putting people in jail for Facebook posts. That's an actual thing happening in Britain.
So what is really at stake? Is this a case of justice, or is it about suppressing dissent? Why is one of the most influential figures in the world backing Tommy Robinson? Let us examine the details.
Speech to return. I am concerned that he doesn't quite understand, or maybe he does but doesn't care, just how powerful his battering ram is when he tweets things like "Free Tommy Robinson," who is, to most people in my country, an extremely insidious individual who should absolutely not be freed right now.
Why should Tommy not be free?
Well, because he's not the Nelson Mandela freedom fighter that most people in America seem to think he is. He's a convicted football hooligan who beat up a policeman and got convicted of that. He was convicted of passport fraud, trying to get into America, convicted of mortgage fraud, convicted of 2 contempts of court where he nearly wrecked trials involving the rape gang suspects when they were on trial, nearly literally avoiding justice for the girls in those cases. He's now in prison.
In October 2024, Tommy Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, was sentenced to 18 months in prison for contempt of court. The case revolved around a High Court order that prohibited him from repeating specific allegations about a Syrian refugee. However, Robinson insists this is about more than just legal consequences. He believes it is an effort to silence him permanently.
The media, who have to a large extent rejected Tommy and tried to discredit him as much as possible, it puts them in a very, very awkward situation. Because remember who Elon Musk is. He's the richest man in the world. He's one of the most influential men in the world. He is an integral part of Trump's team. And he is now looking at what's happened to Tommy, looking at what's happened with the, let's get it right, the rape mafia in the United Kingdom, and realising that there's a massive, massive problem. I had the privilege of being heavily involved in making the Rape of Britain documentaries. We put together a small team. I think it was middle of 2020, if I remember rightly. It seems like a long time ago now. Lots happened between now and then. But we put together a very small but very, very focused team that was made up of very, very dedicated and courageous volunteers. Some of them had never been involved in any.
What makes this situation even more concerning is his claim that his solitary confinement is not standard practice. He argues that it is a deliberate strategy by those in power, particularly Prime Minister Keir Starmer, to stop him from speaking out. According to Robinson, they fear the information he possesses and what he might disclose if given the opportunity.
Those that are spreading lies and misinformation as far and as wide as possible, they're not interested in victims. They're interested in themselves. Those who are cheerleading Tommy Robinson, not interested in justice. They're supporting a man who went to prison for nearly collapsing a grooming case, a gang grooming case. But when the poison of the far right leads to serious threats to Jess Phillips and others, then in my book, a line has been crossed. I enjoy the cut and thrust of politics.
This case extends beyond a single individual behind bars. It raises an important question. Can a person not only be imprisoned, but also completely silenced? If Robinson's accusations hold any truth about what exactly is being concealed, why would Keir Starmer in particular want him out of the picture? Elon Musk is not someone who stays quiet on such matters. When he learned about Robinson's situation, he made his position clear in January 2025. Musk used X, formerly Twitter, to demand answers as to why was Robinson placed in solitary confinement. Was it truly about a crime, or was it a strategy to suppress his voice? Musk did not hold back, implying that Robinson was being punished for speaking just another social media controversy. Musk's involvement went beyond online statements. Reports suggest that he even committed financial support for Robinson's legal defense. This is not a minor gesture. It is a substantial move that underscores Musk's seriousness about the issue. He firmly believes Robinson is being unjustly targeted and is prepared to back him fully. But why is one of the world's wealthiest individuals so invested in this case? The answer lies in his strong stance on free speech. Musk has made it his mission to challenge censorship, frequently calling out governments and media platforms he believes manipulate public perception.
I don't see why not. Tommy Robinson shouldn't be in a position where, because of lack of funds, he can't do anything. You need to give him a chance. Tommy Robinson, to us, shows strength. He shows manliness. We don't see that anywhere else. I was the first person to say last week, I think it was, that Nigel Farage, to me, doesn't project strength. He talks sense, but you need a strong man to do what is necessary in England right now.
Would you back Tommy Robinson for Parliament?
Yes, absolutely.
You said he'd be Prime Minister, I think I saw you saying, that Tommy Robinson will be Prime Minister. Didn't you say that once?
Yes, yes. You know, history teaches you that it's people like Tommy Robinson that will in due course be the Prime Minister of your country.
With Musk involved, this issue is no longer just about Robinson. It has become part of a much broader battle. But that is not the craziest thing. Even from within prison, Tommy Robinson refuses to remain quiet. He claims the UK government is determined to silence him because of the sensitive information he possesses. But what exactly does he allege?
Elon Musk, if you hadn't given me back my platform, then the world wouldn't be able to have seen that I was innocent. The world wouldn't be able to see the importance of citizen journalism. When you have the state decide who is a journalist, we're in communism. Yeah? When they start only allowing certain people to make reports, no, that's not what Great Britain is. We have freedom of the press, we have freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and they've just took all three of them things off of me.
According to Robinson, he holds details that could be damaging to those in power, particularly Prime Minister Keir Starmer. He believes this is the real reason he has been placed in solitary confinement, cut off from the outside world and unable to speak freely. Musk is not convinced by the official justification either. To him, this is not a matter of justice alone, it is about control. As a man known for his strong stands against censorship, Musk is now leveraging his influence to draw global attention to Robinson's case. He is not just questioning the UK government's actions, he is outright accusing them of suppressing the free speech system.
Tommy Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon, has been charged under the Terrorism Act.
He hugged supporters waiting outside for him, telling them he was there for telling the truth. Now, one of them asked what'll happen next, and he said, "I'll see what happens, mate. I don't expect to come back out here."
Musk has consistently criticised the idea that governments should dictate what people can and cannot say. He views Robinson's case as clear proof that free speech is under threat. If a well-known figure like Robinson can be treated this way, what is stopping the authorities from doing the same to others? Now, Musk's involvement in the case has expanded beyond one individual. It is now about who holds the power to control information.
He's very supportive of me. He's very supportive of the party. He sees Robinson as one of these people that fought against the grooming gangs. But of course the truth is Tommy Robinson's in prison, not for that, but for contempt of court for the third occasion. But I mean, equally, there are people in Britain who think that Robinson is a political prisoner. That's the narrative that he's pushed out. That's how he earns his living, but it isn't quite true.
Would you accept Robinson as a member of your party? You quit UKIP over the association with him last time.
No. Look, you know, Robinson has been to prison many, many times for many, many things. Mortgage fraud, passport problems, you name it. He's got his own campaign. We are a political party aiming to win the next general election. He's not what we need.
Interestingly, Tommy Robinson has always been a controversial figure. To some, he is an activist, exposing corruption. To others, he is a provocateur, playing the victim. His past is filled with legal battles, arrests, and bans from social media platforms. Over the years, he has faced multiple convictions, including contempt of court and defamation, further fueling both his supporters and critics. Now Musk has stepped in not just to support Robinson, but to change how the world perceives him. While Musk does not ignore Robinson's past, he argues that the bigger issue at play is government suppression of speech. He wants the world to see Robinson not as a criminal, but as someone being punished for speaking out. Using X as his platform, Musk is shaping a new narrative. He is positioning Robinson as a man persecuted by a government that does not approve of his views. With Musk's massive influence, this message is reaching millions. However, the question is, will it be effective? Can Musk shift public opinion and redefine Robinson's image, or will his past continue to overshadow the battle he claims to be fighting? This case is no longer just about Tommy Robinson. When one of the world's wealthiest and most influential figures steps in to defend a polarizing activist, the world takes notice. Musk's involvement has transformed Robinson's legal troubles into a global discussion that extends far beyond one case. At the center of it all is a critical debate. Where should the line on free speech be drawn? Should governments have the power to silence voices they oppose, or is this a case of someone using freedom of expression as a shield to avoid consequences? Overall, Musk's intervention has only intensified these discussions. Elon Musk's persistence has ensured that this story is not going away anytime soon. The bigger question now is who will prevail in this high-stakes battle? The UK government, Musk, or the principle of free speech itself? This is not just a passing controversy, it is a showdown with potentially far-reaching consequences.
Keir Starmer was very at pains to not directly criticise Elon Musk, although I think the undertone of what he was saying was quite clear, and I thought the balance was probably right. What I'd recommend if I were Keir Starmer's advisor is to just hold off, because I think it's almost certain that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are going to have an enormous falling out at some point this year, and at that point he can go in all he likes. What I would suggest, however, is that Elon has completely shot himself in the feet this weekend by ditching Nigel Farage and going even more extreme and endorsing Tommy Robinson. And
there is the Keir Starmer angle to consider. As Prime Minister, he now faces serious scrutiny, not just over Robinson's imprisonment, but also over his own history. For those that don't know, before entering politics, Starmer served as the UK's Director of Public Prosecutions, a position that gave him significant influence over the legal system. Critics are now questioning whether past decisions and current policies reflect a pattern of suppressing dissent. If you enjoyed this political discussion, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating political content.